G'day and welcome. So you want to use a webcam in Linux, but you don't have a webcam. Well, that's okay, because I'm going to show you how you can use an Android mobile phone on Linux and use it with OBS Studio. In fact, I'm going to show you how you can use two Android mobile phones and switch between them to make great content in OBS. So stay tuned. You're watching Slide, the Linux Lounge Lizard. Well, now we've got something completely different. We've decided to go with a different kind of a setup here. I'm still experimenting with it, but as you may be remembering, I've got two screens, and it was always a little bit difficult moving from one to the other because my eyes would always go over to the second screen when I had to fiddle around with my control panel and so on. But now I have figured out a way to make it look a little bit better. One is that I've got two cameras set up. Now, the difficult thing here on Linux, though, is that in order to get my mobile phone working as a camera, I've got to use this little client here called Droidcam. And I've got two running at the moment. But the problem, if I've got two running, watch this when I turn both my cameras. Well, first of all, I'll switch cameras so you can see what I'm talking about. I'll stop this one. And I'll start that one. So I've got two cameras, but watch what happens. Oh, I've got to sit back a bit. See, the framing's not quite set up right for two cameras. Watch what happens if I turn both on at the same time. It doesn't know which one of me is me. So I can't do that. I've got to stop one. Whew, gave me a headache. I've got to stop one and then start the other. So I'll stop this one, start that one. So that works okay, but now I've added an extra element to it. I can actually, in OBS Studio, I can create two different places that I want to place my camera image. So how am I going to show you that? Well, I'm not sure, but I'll actually move myself so you can see at least the effect of what I'm talking about. I'm going to change myself over to the right-hand side of the screen and remove myself from the left side of the screen, and I do it now. Okay, so I can enable, disable, it transitions nicely from one side of the screen to the other, and even while I've now got that position marker for the camera, I can now, of course, change cameras like that. So I've got a choice of different cameras, but I can only show one at a time. Make sure I've got that properly. Yeah, but I can only show one at a time. And where was I? Oh, okay. So I've got two cameras. Whichever marker I've got enabled, that's where the camera goes. Now, if I open both markers or frames at the same time, well, you'll see both at the same time. But notice they're the same camera, right? So even though it could be confusing, it actually works quite well, because if I'm looking at my second screen, I only want this dude on the left to be talking to you. So let me just get rid of the right dude. And right, so I can now be looking over that way and pointing to what's going on with YouTube. So YouTube is on my screen, my second screen over there. So that works out quite well. So I can say to you, okay, look, why don't we play this? And while I'm playing it, by the way, I actually want to have a listen to it as well. So I've got to make sure the audio is correct.
It is things like simultaneous posts.
So that's nice and quiet, or I can
profiles
bring it
and
up a
post
bit
across
louder.
everything, including your website, all at once. There's audio blocks to support podcasting, which I have an announcement about soon. You can give multiple people different movie. And this guy, Michael J. Fox, was just another kid on a TV show. A time when Crispin Glover didn't just star in one Back to the Future movie.
And so I've got his in the background. So this actually works out quite well. So I'll stop that now. But what it doesn't do is it doesn't allow me to see all my icons there. Now it would if I changed my screen to my second screen being my primary screen, which I can do. I can just do that at the flick of a switch. I don't know what that would do if I did it whilst I was running OBS Studio. So I'm tending not to want to do that. But what I can do, I guess, is say, okay, I now want to, just like I did with the cameras, I can turn off the cameras and start a different screen capture. So I'll turn off my screen capture. It's a little bit difficult to find all my doovers. Okay, that screen capture is off. I better transition that. There you go. Oh no, sorry, I did it the wrong way. I've got both screen captures on. There you go, that's better. That's better. I've turned my screen captures off. So I told you it was confusing. So that's well and good. That looks great, but I'm going, oh, look at that. My microphone is hanging in space. Well, that's actually the filter for the microphone. Oh dear. Okay, so it's there. There's that little Samsung microphone, the Go mic they call it. It's wonderful. I love that little thing. It does such a good job. But if I'm going to be talking about the screen that's on my left, I don't want to be on the left because I'm going to be in the way. I'll show you what I mean. I'm actually going to enable my left screen capture. Now this is going to be bad because I've actually got my OBS Studio on that screen. It would cause all that mirroring effect. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move myself over to my second screen, which I've done. You didn't see that. That was just done behind the scenes. So now I'll enable my left-hand screen capture and transition it. And there it is. So that's, and it's not the whole screen. It's just, as you can see, it's just occupying the middle of my screen. But look at this. I'm looking, if I want to look at the screen over here, it looks like I'm looking the wrong way, doesn't it? Yeah, because see, my eyes are trying to look at my control panel over here, and yeah, it doesn't quite work. So I'm going to get rid of my little camera spot on the left, and I'm going to enable my camera spot on the right over there, and now change cameras. So I've got to go stop there, start there. Oh, I'm looking the wrong way. Oh, stop that, start that. Oh, maybe that is the better one to pick. Okay, well, I'll have to see what it's like at the end of the recording because that looks a bit wrong to me. Oh well, what it's intended to do is it's intended now to be able to put me down in the right hand side, and maybe I'm a little bit too big, so I'll actually make myself a little bit, whoops, that's moving myself. I need to actually make myself a little bit smaller, put myself in the corner and transition that. Then I can actually just forget about my control panel and just talk about what's going on over here, and I can say, well, look, this is how I do certain things. For example, if I want to show you what Droidcam is, here are my little clients. I'll bring them over from the other screen, and I can show how to install Droidcam and what I'm actually doing with my two phones. Now, speaking about my phone cameras, I've got two Samsung Galaxy phones. One's a Note 4, one's a Note 8. I've currently both got them set up. But if you look up here, I've actually got them connected now by Wi-Fi. If you've seen any of my previous videos, which you probably haven't because they were really mainly for me, I've always been connecting via USB. And my excuse was, well, it's good because not only am I getting the benefit of the great camera, but I'm getting power as well. Well, duh. I don't need to connect via USB if I just want to get power. I can connect via Wi-Fi LAN like so, but still connect the USB port, but to a USB hub that's got a better power supply than my PC is supplying. So now my phones are not consuming more power than I can supply them, and they won't run out. The other advantage is I can pick up one of these phones. Oh, here we go. I'll do it now. I can pick up this phone and I'll actually switch cameras. I'll actually stop this one and connect here, and you can now see I'm mobile, and I can actually show you what my setup looks like. So there's my, oh, it's very dark, isn't it? That's because I'm facing into the light. There's my Note 4 sitting on top of the screen. There's my two monitors. And I'll come around to me, and you can still see a little bit of my green screen in the back there. If I turned off my green screen, wow, I don't want to do that because that's actually part of my setup. But yeah, so I've got a mobile camera. Now it is tethered. It is tethered. In fact, I'll turn my other one on again. Whoops, what am I doing? So I'll stop that camera, turn that guy on. That's what I was holding. That's my Note 8. And see, it is tethered by USB, but look, I can pull that out and it's fine. I can still switch to it now if I wanted to. There you go. See? So that's the portable camera that I'm now using. Right, so that's great. I can actually have a little bit of control, even though OBS Studio can only see one instance of Droidcam at any time. It just means I have to activate one or the other, and I just happen to have each one set up, as you'll see up here. In fact, I might make that a little bit bigger for you, just so that you can actually see. I can transform this guy. Whoops, where is it? I can transform it into a fit to screen. Hopefully that makes it a little bit easier for you. I've got to transition it. Now, if you have a look up here, even though both are set for Wi-Fi LAN, I better change cameras too because you can't see what I'm talking about. There we go. Okay, so even though each one is set up for Wi-Fi LAN, notice I've got one set up here for this address, and you'll see there's another one, this address. Now, I don't mind showing you those addresses because they are just local addresses to my own network here, private addresses, so they can't be seen by the internet. And funnily enough, I've even got the same port number set because they are the same port hanging off different IP addresses. So each IP address will have a full stack of ports available to it. So there you go. So two different Droidcams allow me to put different images inside whatever box I enable. And this is nice because this is allowing me to show you some things that I can do. And anything that I put now on this screen, you'll see. So great for tutorials and the like. I guess that's enough for now. I just wanted to make that a little bit for myself, for a record of what I'm doing, and maybe share it with people who want to know how to use a mobile phone as a webcam when using Linux, and to go one step further, or several steps further, how to use multiple phones as webcams with OBS Studio. Now, I'll show you OBS Studio, but of course you're going to get that infinite window going in there forever because I'm screen capturing and throwing it into OBS Studio. OBS Studio is part of that screen now, and so it goes on and on and on forever. But there you go. It's a simple setup. There are all my various elements. I've probably got a bit too many there now because I find that I've got to scroll before I want to start my different elements. But here's what I mean. In fact, I'll better put this one camera back up, the one that I had as a mobile camera. I'll put that back up, and I'll try and set that up again as seeing me with my green screen in the right location. So let me see if I can do that now. So where's my Droidcam? There they are up there. So I'll stop this dude up here. I'll start this dude here. Ah, there we are. So that's the second camera. There we go. Oop. And that's probably okay there. So now have a look at down here. As I move my cursor to the various elements, it highlights those elements on screen. Now I can do it either way. I can either click on that, or I can click on the element, and it will not only highlight it, down there in the sources list, but it will also highlight it on screen. So for me to switch from the right side to the left side, notice I've got Droidcam here on the right. He's activated. Droidcam on the left, let's activate it. Oh, what do you know? There it is. Now remember, it's the same camera going in there. I can elect which camera it is, but now I've chosen which place I want to put that image. So let's get rid of the guy on the right. There we go. Oh, you haven't seen anything yet because I haven't transitioned. Sorry. There we go. I've got a transition the screen. I've got to remember to transition it. So I'll just do that again. So you can see it down here. I'll enable that guy as well. Transition to now put it out into the recording or to the stream if I was streaming. Now I want to get rid of this guy on the left. Here's my left Droidcam down here. Disable it, transition it to output that new scene. So that's how you do that. So very useful, very nice, and I'm slowly getting used to how to do all this sort of stuff, and eventually I'll put out some content and hopefully people will enjoy what they see.